Neck-throughs, guitars, they're like a guy that won't have a beer with you.
I want to hear what's pushing the notes.
Freddie King and B.B. King, Albert King, and let's not forget Burger King.
I don't want to blow my knuckle out.
Stainless steel is the work of the devil.
These go to 11.
From the East Amplification Tone Labs in Baltimore, Maryland, it's the Amps and Axes Show. With your hosts, Jeff the Godfather of Low Wattage Amps Bober and Mick Marcelino.
I cracked myself up.
You almost cracked me up.
Well, good day to you, Mr. Bober.
Good day to you, Mr. Marcelino.
I almost cracked you up.
Oh, wait, now you did it. Now you did it. Oh.
Hey.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Hey, listeners.
That's right. They're doing great.
Want to thank you.
Oh, God. I want to hug every one of you. And not, just
not in that way, just a hug.
Just a bro hug.
Right,
hey, what's up?
Hey.
Yeah.
Right.
Not like stalker way or anything.
Right. No, we'll leave that to the professionals.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And we appreciate you coming to our webpage. It's called ampsandaxescast.com. But on that webpage, if you scroll down right below the show, there's a friend of ours on there. Does a little thing. What's
Jason
his name?
Seditas.
That's right. And what's he doing?
Quick Clicks.
Right before I do it. Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Jason.
Yeah, man.
Oh, and
he's got a new format.
He's got a new format too.
Love it.
Yes.
The guy's just
I
amazing.
forgot to mention that the last show or so. The new format is quite enjoyable.
It just does. How does he do it?
I don't know. It's magic.
I think he's determined. He's like, okay, I'm going to do more licks than you ever will have shows. And he's rolling along.
He totally is.
Every
rolling
week
along.
I get an email and I'm like, hey, did it again.
Uh-huh.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yep. And bigger and better.
Yeah.
Bigger and better.
And he's using the Godine.
Mm-hmm. Godine.
I think it's Godine.
It could be Godine.
Because I talked to Rick Emmett one night.
Oh, okay.
Because, me and Rick, we hang out.
Yeah, we hang out. Right.
And I think I said Godin, and he went, the Godine.
The Godine.
And I went, okay.
Maybe that's just his way of saying it.
I think it was his way of insulting me. But
you know
okay.
what? Well, you know what? We'll
It's
ask
Rick
Jason. We'll ask Jason because
We can.
he's now endorsed.
That's
by them.
right.
So he would know.
Yes.
He's actually spoken to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
and they're very cool guitars. I really do like them.
Yeah, actually, for the money, can't believe how well
I
they
know.
play
I
and sound. They are
think,
very good.
I think I might have to get one.
Yeah. I'm seriously, check
Yeah.
them all
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Yeah, they do really well. Also, when you come to our page, please click through the Amazon banner.
Sure.
It spreads some love this way. Doesn't cost you a dime.
Holidays are coming.
Yep, holidays are coming. You're going to need picks and strings. And there's somebody that's going to need socks.
Before that, you're going to need a turkey.
Exactly.
So, and this is probably out after Halloween, so maybe there's a special on leftover Halloween candy
All the time.
Right.
And costumes.
And leftover costumes. Right.
Also, while you're there, make sure you click through our all of our social media stuff. Follow us on all that stuff. But big, we need the 5-star ratings on iTunes.
iTunes, yes.
Please.
It'll pop us up higher.
Yes. And then our guests will get, because we want a roster of guests, guys that we can't get near. So
we just haven't had the opportunity to get near them. That's
I can't
all.
find a phone number.
That's all.
And the internet's a big place. And so I'm still looking.
But we know people that know people. But if the show pops up higher on iTunes, it's better for everyone. It's easier to find.
I get phone calls from different places that says, "Hey,"
and you, the person that's listening right now, you will have more listening buddies if more people know about the show. So
sure,
kick it up there,
and then you can all crack on me. Like you do anyhow.
There you go.
I'm okay with it. I go to a therapist.
That's right.
Hey, there's this really cool bridge that's out.
Where's the confounded bridge?
Well, it's not that one.
Okay.
This is a cool guitar bridge made by a company called Made. M-A-N-N. Made.
Right.
They have, get this, an intonatable stop tailpiece, and everybody goes, oh, well, what's the big deal?
What's the big deal?
What's the big deal? Yeah, well, these saddles go up and down, and they go slide back and forth.
Wait a minute. This is where I go, ooh.
So all of you Gibson guys that know this nightmare that you live with the inside strings from the A to the B can now solve the long problem and actually match the radius perfectly to the correct string height. If you really want to dial your guitar in, that technically is the only way to do it. Because here's what happens when you adjust a tune-o-matic or a stop-tail bridge that has a wraparound like a Paul Reed Smith. Your radius, you see it right there? Your radius is kind of built into the bridge. But the problem is your E string, your high E, is thinner than the low E. So the low E sits up where the high E sits down, so it changes the actual radius on the bridge, because if you're trying to match a 12-inch radius to a 12-inch fretboard, if the bridge has the radius and you turn it one side down, you've now cocked that radius a little bit and it doesn't line up perfectly because your strings are different thicknesses across.
Right.
So now the Gibson guys and the PRS guys can now do what the Fender guys do.
True.
So you can kind of hold your middle finger up a little bit and move on.
Yeah, and
this is cool. This is brass saddles, brass studs,
and it's pictured on a PRS there.
Yeah, it is.
So
I haven't seen the tune-o-matic version of it for the Gibsons, but there is a Gibson version, they say.
Cool.
So it's pretty cool. You can get it nickel, gold, or black.
And oh, cool. That's nice.
Yeah.
And speaking of PRS,
yes.
On one of their newer models, name escapes me. I don't think it's the Starla. It may be something. It may even be a model newer than that. But they have a. I've always been a fan of the like the Telecaster bar. Where it
two strings per saddle.
Right.
Yes, and it's compensated.
Well, the early ones weren't.
Oh, they were just straight across.
They were straight across, and the thing was that you could get the intonation close, but you're doing two strings at a time.
So no way you're going to.
So no way. Yeah. But the old school trick was that once you got it really close and you wanted to split the difference between the two strings that were on there, you could actually bend the screw. So that when you turned it a quarter turn, it would actually angle the piece. One side would come further towards the neck, the other side would go further towards the bridge because the screw was bent.
And after a certain amount of years, they started doing that. They actually drilled the hole on an angle in the piece.
Yeah, or they changed the compensation where the string lays. They changed that too.
Yep.
There's a new PRS model out now that has 3 and 3. There are 2 bars, 3 and 3, but each bar has 2 screws. All right, so you can actually angle.
Oh, look at that!
You could actually angle the bar,
and they're brass, right? Are they brass?
I don't remember. I think they are. They are. You could actually angle the bar by by using one screw to push it further out and the other one to pull it further back. You can do an angle only to a certain point because there's I
won't go past a certain
right. You can only do a little bit of an angle because I don't think there's anything in there that lets it, for lack of a better term, or flex or rotate or something like that. However, this bridge, and it looks like it's for maybe a jazz master, but it may be coming out for other things. It might already be out for other things. Mm-hmm. This guy, John Woodland, it's called a Mastery Bridge, and it's 3 and 3, and it's 2 screws per saddle.
Yeah, but
they are. It's almost like how can I equate this? A U-joint.
Like a ball and socket almost?
It's more like a U-joint.
Okay.
Take a look at this picture. It's more like a U-joint on a car
look at that.
Where the
cool.
The screws are allowed to go on angles.
Yeah, look at that. Well,
and you can turn it so much more. You can overcompensate much more.
So what they've done is they've taken like IKEA furniture. right? When you put the little barrel in, and then you run the screw in, and it comes into the barrel.
Oh, yeah, kind of.
It's
Yeah.
like that's these posts here are the barrels, and then the whole saddle shifts. I wonder if I can put this on our website. This is very cool,
isn't it?
And then it's got 2 adjustment screws for height on each end.
Right.
Wow.
It's a pretty all inclusive.
And that's for a Les Paul.
No. That looks like a Jazzmaster. I'm pretty sure he initially came up with that for a Jazzmaster.
Yeah. See, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But that's
but I mean, if he
cool.
did it for that, there's no reason you can't do it for everything else. Now, I don't know why you'd want to go from single saddles to a 3 and 3. Maybe
more tone transfer.
Probably. Could be.
But that's right. I forgot. There's some people out there that don't believe that.
Don't believe in tone, right? Yeah. But I think it's very interesting. It's a it's a machinist masterpiece to me.
That's a work of art right there. Just to have it for the cool looks.
Mm-hmm.
Would be kind of like, hey, check out my bridge.
I'm curious if they do. If they do it for Jazzmaster, they probably. There's going to be a version for everything. I would think. So
if you want to be in business.
Right. How many Jazzmasters are out
exactly.
there? You could supply Elvis Costello.
Well, if Jim Root used a real Jazzmaster, you could give it to Jim Root, but he uses a Jazzmaster that's basically, that world's heaviest metal guitar.
Right. Well,
it looks like a Jazzmaster.
And actually, in this column or article here, Nels Cline uses a Jazzmaster that he probably worked with to do this. So anyway, I thought it was very interesting. And
it is.
You were on the topic of bridges, so I found that interesting as well. And maybe if they come up with one for a guitar that I actually own, I'll have to get one and check it out. See how it sounds.
Yeah. And I'll just say,
because we know it's going to sound different. Listen, people.
I'll just say this. I saw an email from one of our listeners. I don't know if it was an email or a Facebook thing. We get inundated now.
Yeah.
And it's a little hard to keep up. We apologize if we don't get back to you.
True. We don't hate you.
No, we don't hate you.
We love you.
We're actually probably going to have to get an intern.
Right.
Which is a good thing. We're not complaining. My complaint is
keep the cards and letters coming.
Yeah, we can't answer them all the way we would like to. At this point, we will, though. But one of the things I heard, the guy was saying, I took pickups out of this, put it in this, and it sounded like this, and it was that, and all this. And I think some of the argument gets a little bit lost.
Mm-hmm.
Where, and we've even said this, the higher the gain goes, the more the real tone starts to go away.
Absolutely.
It's when it's in its acoustic properties or clean that you really start to hear that wood, and even a little bit of hair. You're still going to hear it. That's why. Like when you listen to, let's just say Free, Paul Kossoff was not using a master volume amp.
Oh, no.
No, they were just cranked up. So you heard a lot of the guitar in there because it was really clean. It was just overdriving the power tubes, right? Am I right with that?
Oh, no, absolutely.
Look
absolutely.
And, see, I knew one thing.
And, how much you overdrove those was determined by that little round knob on your guitar.
Yeah, you could do funny things like make it distorted and roll back and it got clean.
Right.
So does that, that's where the whole, and look, all you scientists, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear from you. I really don't. You can send it to us. Just go back and listen to those albums. It's not like they were doing some kind of voodoo magic.
No.
These guitars and these amps, they had this thing, and that's what it was because they were not crazy high gain back then.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, you wanted gain. You got this
fuzz
thing
pedal.
Called a fuzz pedal, right?
The big muff fuzz.
This was way before
the fuzz face.
Yeah.
That was a good one. What was one of the originals?
Actually, the first one was a Maestro that I can remember. It's a Maestro. I can't remember. Actually, ran on one AAA battery.
And gave you 1 hour's worth of play.
It's called like the cheese wedge.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And it's the fuzz you hear on Satisfaction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that tells you.
So that's the earliest one that I know. It's a Maestro / Gibson. I think they came out under both monikers eventually. And
we all heard that, and it sounded, it's cool now. Back then, it was probably like everybody's like, oh my God, this is heaven.
Yeah, what is this? This is great.
But then when you got the 100-watt plexi and turned it up, then you went, I got it.
Right.
I know what it is.
Yeah. Well, and
our guest is very.
I was just going to say that, but I was just going to end with, back then the amps sounded different, and the guitar you plugged into it sounded different. So it's not just a chunk of wood; it sounds different. And I don't want to beat a dead horse, but you can show me all the proof you want that it doesn't sound different. And like I say to everyone, you can find evidence on both sides of an argument all day long for whatever argument you want to make about anything. Mm-hmm. So you can show me what you want to show me, and I'm going to think what I want to think.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And like anything else, everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Totally.
That's all great. Whatever works for you. We believe that. Look, if it works for you, I don't care what you're playing in.
Right.
You could be playing a guitar made out of tin cans for all I care.
Right.
If it works for you, it's cool.
Totally.
And then we're done.
Right. Not shooting anybody down, so don't anybody shoot anybody else down.
No. We just want to make that statement because it's like we want to make sure that everybody knows that once you start getting way out there in the gain world, things change.
Right.
You're not listening to the guitar anymore. It's more of a trigger.
Right. And speaking of gain, our guest today doesn't use a whole hell of a lot of it. He's more of a natural kind of guy,
Yeah.
Guitar amp, couple pedals, but more the au naturel guitar player.
Yeah.
And so is his partner in crime, who we've had on already.
Oh.
And
just the best.
Killer band, we love him.
Yeah, man.
And so we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with our guest of the week, Mr. Paul Jackson.
Hey, how you doing? This is Scott Metzger, and you are listening to Amps and Axes.
All right, and we are back with our guest of the week, as promised, Mr. Paul Jackson. Paul, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Oh, it's great to have you on, man.
Yeah.
Big fan of the band, big fan of your work.
Yeah, thank you.
I love the guitar playing style in that band. I really do. So
it's good stuff, man.
Thanks for taking the time to be on with us.
Yeah, no worries. Appreciate you having me.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
And I said this to Charlie,
okay.
And I told him that I would ask Paul. And Paul, I guess because of what happened to you not too long ago, there was probably one time when you weren't smiling.
I was, you know what? It was so funny when I got hit. I was literally giggling because I couldn't believe I got hit by a truck.
Oh, boy.
So I guess we need to explain to the fans that, what was it? You had 4 shows left on the ZZ Top Tour, right?
Right.
And you got hit by a truck while you were crossing the street.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy. On my bike, I was doing the right thing, waiting for the crosswalk, and it said go, and this guy
he went.
He went. Yeah, his way. He wanted to turn right on a left when he's looking left, and he would have hit a pedestrian. Brandon was there, our piano player, and he says the same thing, that a pedestrian, he would have hit a pedestrian, which is unfortunate. The poor guy was scared to death,
Oh, I'm sure.
And I was, but I was just, when I stood up, I was laughing so hard I couldn't believe I got hit.
That is just crazy. That is. So, were you on a bike or a motorcycle bike, or?
I was on a bicycle.
Okay.
Yeah. We don't make that kind of money to own motorcycles. or actually, be honest with you, my Amanda will not. She will not let me have a motorcycle. She goes, if you can live on it, you can have it. And I was like, all right. I guess I'm not getting a motorcycle.
Wow.
If you can live on it, you can have it. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, at least she lets you have a couple of guitars, and that's
what
counts.
I do. I buy guitars instead.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah,
and
they technically won't kill you.
Right, they're a little less dangerous.
Yeah.
I'm a lucky dude. I got one of the greatest jobs on the planet.
That is true. That is true. Fun. One of the great rock bands out there, and you get to play guitar in it, and it's like that's just so awesome.
And doing it the old school way.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's the one thing. Yeah.
I don't think we could have done it any other way, to be honest with you. The way we did it, from literally from the ground up, from the ground to a car, to a van, to a RV, and then eventually years later, we were able to get a bus up, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's called paying your dues, man.
Yeah, I would do it over twice. I'd do it again twice. I would, because it's still an experience. I wouldn't say it was. It still is an experience.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's good because it's if it's still an experience and it's still fun, it's still worth doing.
Right.
That's great.
And one of the things that I always say is that a lot of times bands come out, they have a really good first album, really good second album or so.
Right.
But then when the popularity starts to happen, now they're living different lifestyles, and the third album, but no, man, it's like a home run every time. I'm like, I don't even think about it. I'm like, yeah, I'm buying the album.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, and people buy the whole damn album.
Yes.
Just
yeah.
Right. It's hopefully since this vinyl research is coming up, maybe a lot of people will dig more into it.
Yeah, man.
Check it out. We're lucky, I guess.
Oh yeah, and when I say album, I just call everything albums because I'm too old to call them CDs or buy. Let me rephrase it: buy the entire release, like every damn song on whatever format you choose to listen.
Exactly.
In,
People go out and buy the tape.
Right. I was just having this discussion with Mick that
cassettes
are coming back, and it's like, oh my god,
that's awesome.
Yeah, totally. Mick says, "What's everybody going to play them on?"
Yeah, exactly.
My son, not to go off to a different, my son, for his birthday, he's turned into a vinyl junkie. He's 12 years old. He's
that's dangerous.
Thank God he's into rock and roll. He loves older rock and roll. But he got one of those record players, has a record player, CD player, and a cassette player on the side of it.
Wow.
Awesome.
It was already anticipated.
He's totally set, man.
Yeah, he's like, but Dad, when you're on the road, if you go into a record store and they have tapes, can you buy me some? I was like, okay. I will if you want.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I think we're all safe until the 8-track resurfaces.
Oh,
well,
that's just punishment.
Great.
I came in on the very ass end of that when I was little.
Really?
I just remember my cousins pressing so many buttons. Boom, boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you wanted to hear your favorite song twice. You had to go around the loop, and you had to play like one song that you hated. So
right.
When you hit the track, you got to the just like it was a nightmare, Yeah. And then I knew a guy that had a fast forward button. He was the coolest dude on the planet.
On an 8-track?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's when it was near the end of them. They started to realize, hey, people really hate this, so let's try to make it a little bit better.
When they used to, I think the tape decks my brother had in his car, if you would just touch the eject button just right, it would fast forward a little bit.
Oh yeah. It's the gray zone between play and pop out.
Exactly.
Totally.
It's like a Strat with a 3-position switch where you got to make the 4th position.
Yeah, 2 and 4. Yeah.
Right.
Well, we're talking history and grassroots and ground up. So I'm going to do what I always do, and we're going to hit the Wayback Machine and go way back with Mr. Paul Jackson and find out where he came from and where you grew up and how you got into this wonderful, crazy business of music, man. So let us hear a little bit about it.
I'll try to make it short, I guess.
Oh, hell no.
Give us your story, man.
I grew up I was born in Philadelphia.
Wow.
And my mom was married. My biological father was in the Navy. I was actually born Paul Scarpato. And when my mom got down to Florida, they got a divorce while he was out at sea. He was in the Navy. And then we moved down to Pensacola, Florida. And he was out at sea. And she, things weren't happening. They were young. Mm-hmm. And she got divorced. And when they got divorced, I think a couple months or maybe I'd say 6 months, later, my mom met my dad who wound up adopting us, Eddie Frank Jackson. And he just raised me since I was maybe a year and a half old.
Oh.
So, yeah, and he was a firefighter in Pensacola. And I thought I was headed for that, man.
Wow.
I thought I was, I was like, when I grow up, I'm going to be a firefighter. That's it. A little kid with a firefighter dad, man.
They are kind of heroic, really.
They run into the building while everybody's running out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we used to, go down there and play on the fire trucks, slide down the pole and stuff. And it was awesome. But anyway, the firefighter community is a family. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Even if they're not your family, it is what it is. You guys probably know firefighters.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But like I said, my Scarpato, Tom Scarpato, he's still around. He lives in he moved down to Florida. Anyway, they're all musicians, but I didn't grow up around any of them people. I didn't grow up around any of them.
Huh.
And then I was a huge baseball player when I was, like I guess from 6 to 11, I played baseball like crazy, and that was because of my Jackson family. My dad was my coach. My uncles were my coach. Well, at the very end, I think around 11 or 12, my dad was my coach. He was killed fighting a fire when I was 11. And I may have told y'all this before, I'm not sure. But after that, we had moved, because my mom didn't want to live in the house. We moved up into a different part of town, and my brother came home one day and was like, dude, he was in high school at the time. I was still in middle school. I just went and saw this band. And it was like some friends of his that play music. And I went and saw them, and I was blown away. And then immediately after that, this was around 1985. And after that, my mother comes in the room. I was playing on my Commodore 64, Commodore 128. I don't know if y'all remember those.
Oh, yeah.
I totally remember those.
She comes in. She goes, I want to get you out of the room and out of the house. This is, 2 years after Dad had passed away. And we were still trying to, just get ourselves, as kids I wouldn't leave my room. And then she comes in, she puts the paper down. She goes, I want to take you to a concert at one of these places, this new place they built in Pensacola called the Civic Center. And I was like, I looked at the paper, just pointed and said, them. And it was Motley Crue.
Oh my God.
That's a good first show.
There you go.
Yeah. It was Autograph and Motley Crue. And after the show, I remember, during the show, I remember Vince Neil goes, let me see some, I don't know if I'm allowed to say boobs.
You can say whatever you want.
He goes, let me see, I want to see some tits out there. And I looked behind me because I was up pretty close. All I saw was boobs. And as how old was I? Gee, maybe 85. Maybe 14, maybe, or 13 or whatever.
I'm playing guitar.
This is the greatest thing ever.
Dude, right? And I got done that show, and then Mom's like, I can't believe that dude cussed so much, because that's all Vince Neil did was cuss besides, sing. And I said, Mom, I need a guitar. And it was so funny. She goes, I kind of figured that. So I got my first guitar. I think maybe it was a Bobo guitar. I don't know if you ever heard of Memphis guitars.
Why have I heard of that?
Yeah.
Why have I heard of Memphis guitars?
Well, this guitar was completely white, like the neck, it wasn't a dark thing on it.
The fingerboard too?
Dude, it was, I'll take that back. No, that wasn't. I would say it was rosewood, but not this guitar. I don't know what it was. It cost like $100.
Memphis guitars. I had to look it up.
Yeah, I know. I've heard of it.
I think Charlie may have owned, not the guitar I had, but I think he owned a Memphis when he just started out too. I'm not sure. I think we were talking about it one day, but no, after that, I just picked up guitar and I took lessons for 6 weeks, and then it just came to me, and I think it has to do with my Scarpato family. They
must.
I mean, my biological father, he plays, and my uncles, they still play. Like I said, I wasn't raised around these people,
Yeah, it's got to be something in the DNA.
Yeah, we talk more now than ever. It's because I'm able, to. Whenever I play up there, I get a chance to see them. Mm-hmm. And yeah, man, that's pretty much that. And then I wound up leaving. Am I being too long on this?
Oh no, man! Hell no.
Well, I wound up after playing in Pensacola. I had me and my brother and 2 other dudes had a band. We were young, man, and I was playing in bars by 16, and we had a okay band. The singer was horrible, but What are you going to do?
Somebody's got to sing, right?
Yeah.
And we played everything and anything that got the girls out. We didn't give a shit.
Well, and club owners get happy with that.
Yes, they do.
Know?
Yeah, they do.
The girls come out, the girls bring the guys buy the drinks, club owners happy.
Yep.
And then when we pretty well known in Pensacola. And
what was the name of the band?
Oh man, it's
come on.
The band was called Prophecy, and my brother decided to spell it with an S for some reason.
Well, that was way ahead of its time because then the Z craze came and everything was spelled with a Z.
Yes.
Right. It's funny. So anyway, we're playing and stuff, and then the band just the singer got a girl, the same old story. Singer got a girl pregnant. The bass player wanted to go I think he went to L.A. and wound up coming back to Pensacola. But anyway, I decided I couldn't do what I wanted to do for a living in Pensacola. I love it there. I love the ocean. I love the boats. It's I love the girls are all over the place there. So as a young dude, I was like,
what's not to love?
Do I want to leave? But anyway, I left and went to Atlanta, and I wound up. This is no shit. I wound up playing with musicians from Pensacola.
That's too funny.
This is crazy because I wanted to get away from the whole scene down there, but it is what it is. And then doing that, and I'll tell you quickly how I wound up running with Charlie. I was doing jobs, in the original band I was in up there. We weren't doing anything. We're just writing songs, and it just wasn't happening. And then me and my brother and the other guitar player, because I was a guitar player and there was another guitar player, we decided to get a cover band so we can make money on the weekends. And
good idea.
And that band was called, me and my brother and that other guy, I sang, the guitar player sang. I played bass, actually, when we started that band. But I was still playing guitar, just wanted to pick up the bass for a year and just fiddle with it. Mm-hmm. And I played with my brother my whole life, and he's a great drummer, my brother is. So we just got off and just started doing it. But that band was called Shark Sandwich.
Shark Sandwich.
Awesome.
Not to be confused with Shit Sandwich from the movie
totally.
Spinal Tap.
Totally. Well, actually, the original drummer in Shark Sandwich was, Buck Cherry, right?
Oh, yeah.
Keith, his little brother, Mike, who's still one of my best friends, Mike Nelson, he's still one of my, and what a phenomenal drummer.
Wow.
He came up with that name. He's like, let's call it Shark Sandwich. And we're like, all right.
That's
so
great.
It was pretty awesome. And then he moved back to Pittsburgh, and my brother jumped back in the band. But anyway, we're playing down from Atlanta. My brother got us a gig in LaGrange, Georgia, and we come down here. Well, there. I don't live in LaGrange anymore, but we came down there, and I ran in. That's where Charlie's from, is in that area. Huh. And he was in another band. I'll let him tell you. I don't know if he told you the name, but I won't say it. I don't want to get you upset. But
I don't think he told us.
I forgot to ask him the name of that band.
We didn't get the name of the band.
Right. Well, just for funny purposes, I mean, our band was called Shark Sandwich, and his band was called Night Sharks. He played guitar, and they were a great band, man. They played some really good stuff too, And I hope he doesn't kill me for that, but no, man. And I ran into him. I think that was in '90. I think I met him in '96. I've known Charlie for that long. It's been a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now you said you were writing a lot of stuff. Was this band doing a lot of originals, or were you doing covers?
Shit Sandwich? No.
Shit Sandwich.
No, I was writing on my own, but I was like, not with that name. So we just.
Paul, I got one better if you want it.
What do you got?
I was in a band called Skin Spider.
Nice.
And when they explained it to me, I was like, you got to be shitting me. That this is the name of it because of this. And it's when, a guy and a girl are,
the thing. And
getting happy a certain way, that it looks like a skin spider.
Dude, I need to try that.
sure it's in the Kama Sutra somewhere.
I was in another. This is so funny. You know, you're all in these. I was in a band for about a week. Maybe 2 weeks. We did one gig. This is back in Pensacola. We called it Dr. Schmeckel and the Foreskins, and it was just 4 of us. But we did like one gig, and then that's when I moved to Atlanta. Right after that, that was my last day. I was like, I got to get out of here.
The names are killing you.
Right.
Yeah.
It's my last hurrah here.
Nobody ever asked me about a name to name a band, and I'm so glad because I didn't want that hassle.
Yeah, because if it failed, you'd be like,
don't blame it on me.
Oh my goodness! And half the bands I played in, I was like, oh, this name is hard. But when you want to play, man, you just do what you can do.
Yeah,
that's right.
That was awesome. So then, I met Charlie, and then I was doing my thing with Shark Sandwich, and then my brother, bless his heart, he's a drummer. You know, he was pretty bad off on drugs at the very end of it, and I used to go see Charlie's band play when I was off. He had a band called Black Hat Bones, and I would love to go hear him play because I love the songs they played. We never played those songs because my brother was absolutely against it because the girls wouldn't come, you know. But I was like, screw that, man. They're playing, they're playing Four Horsemen, they're playing some Aerosmith. Come on, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then Charlie got done playing one night. I said, man, if you ever need another guitar player, and I wanted to quit singing at this point, you know, I was just like, I just want to play guitar. And he's like, what about your brother? I was like, whatevs. Because Charlie knows my brother too, man. He's known him for a long time. My brother's a good guy. I love him. He's still a great drummer to me and has kids, so he doesn't want to do this kind of work that I do anymore, you know. But Charlie gave me a tape, or not a tape. Listen to me thinking tapes. Gave me a CD, and he goes, "Learn these 3 songs." I learned them. I went up the very next day, and like I said, I've known Charlie. He would come into a bar when he was off, come see us play, and I would. You know, he would always wear patchouli back then. I'd smell him. I'm like, Charlie's here.
That's nice.
So I would call him up like, Charlie, come up here and play some guitar. He would come up. He'd play and sing, and I'd go sit at the bar and drink. So
I need a break. Come up and play and sing.
Yeah, he kind of finished out my set for me, and it was awesome. But I asked him. I said, if you ever need another guitar player, let me know. And he's like, as a matter of fact, we do. I got this band that, you know, and he told me about Blackberry Smoke. I was like, right on.
Nice.
And I learned the 3 songs, went up the next day, and I swear, we rehearsed twice. And I knew I had the gig immediately. I mean, I was able to sing, you know, able to play guitar. And, you know, we just knew. And then I think after that, we've been touring ever since.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and that's not a tour. That's not a joke. We have been touring literally ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some old videos out there of you guys doing you're like at like a honky tonk bar, I guess, and you're doing like some Molly Hatchet.
Yeah. I was, you know what's so funny? I was watching that the other day going, "Oh, did everybody in the band have to talk? Good Lord."
Was Charlie still growing his chops then?
No, Charlie had this weird, like, almost like a Fu Manchu thing going on at that time.
Yeah, he was rocking that thing, and you know, we still playing great, you know. But we pretty much back in those days, we were drinking.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Well, he was up on stage. He was up on stage smoking a cigarette while he's playing. You know, putting it on the end of the guitar. You know,
the good old days.
Oh, he was doing it upright. You know, and Paul's over there handling the Molly Hatchet solos. Man, I was like, get out of town.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He grew up playing that stuff. I didn't, so I listened to it and go, Paul, why didn't you learn the solo?
Yeah, because that's a beast.
I'm playing my own thing at the point, but when we do the harmony thing, I was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I was, you know, partying and drinking, and you know, now if it turns around where we ever do that song again, I would absolutely go learn it perfect. You know,
that's a beast of a solo, flirting with disaster, man.
Yeah. Charlie had that thing nailed. I mean, that was his. He's got that stuff down to a science. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. I still love the old stuff, man.
Oh yeah,
me too, dude. It sounds so good.
If you want to see one of the coolest things, they're backstage and they all have acoustic guitars. I don't know if you do. I think you may have like a Telecaster in your hands.
What in that video?
And that where you guys are doing a Ramblin' Man. You're backstage.
Yeah.
That is very cool because it's quiet. Because I think Paul, you had an electric guitar that wasn't plugged in or something.
And
Charlie had his acoustic, and I don't even think Richard was even on bass, was he? I don't even think he was. I think it was just those three. I think Brandon was over on a piano, like over in the corner of the room.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry. Thanks. Sorry. Thanks. Had to grab my beer. Thanks, honey.
Priorities, man.
Right. That we were back. Whenever before we go on, we usually do Charlie and I warm up vocally, and I was back there noodling, and then Charlie broke into that tune, and I was like, "Oh yeah,
it's pretty cool, man. How you guys did that."
I was like, "I think I learned a little bit of this last week."
Let's see if I can learn some more tonight.
It was awesome. Yeah, we were just fiddling around.
Yeah, that's cool stuff. Man.
So you guys do warm up vocally. He's very complimentary of your vocal prowess, by the way.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, he is.
Thanks, Charlie.
I was telling Jeff, I said, I've seen you guys probably 3 or 4 times, and I didn't realize how much you sang.
I sing a lot.
He sings a ton, but he's right there in that pocket, man. It's like you never hear that harmony change, and that's tough, man. Night after night.
I just think it's for me singing with Charlie. I mean, I've listened to him way before I started playing with him.
Yeah.
And I knew it would work. I mean, I had no doubts. I mean, and I knew what my part would be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think with risk of tooting our own horn, I just think we sound good together, because we're 2 different types of singers, so just.
It works.
It works very well.
Yeah, very well. So back in the let's see. Charlie was doing the cool stuff. You were obviously doing the dance stuff to get the girls out.
Well, yeah, like Hot Child in the City, stuff like that, man.
Mm-hmm. What was your rig looking like back then?
Oh, back then, it was and I used it actually when I started playing with Blackberry Smoke. I had a Marshall cabinet, 5150.
Okay.
And I wasn't really big on effects, and I'm still not. Not my cup of tea. I just like to play through the head a lot, and if I do have effects, it's just because the song calls for it.
Right.
I don't play and go, "Oh, I need a delay." There's nothing wrong with those things. It's just
It's just not you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe I haven't, really. Maybe I haven't sat down and fiddled with them enough. I've just never been that guitar player to use those things.
Well, like I've said this many a time. I've had, a lot, and then it dwindles down, and then I realize, hey, I'm plugging straight in again. And a lot of times what it is if I'm not here, if it's got that coloration thing going on, like, the sound has changed, and not so much on a delay. I don't really even use delay, but when it come to like flangers and phasers and those, different things, it was like too distracting.
Yeah, dude, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you on that.
It throws you off a little bit. Like, I'm not used to this. It's
like now in a part of one song, I use a Leslie, simulator for like maybe 3 seconds, and I love it. And I do have a delay pedal. I just actually hadn't hooked it up yet, to be honest with you.
I put it on the floor. I never turn it on, but I put it on the floor.
I haven't even hooked it up. I have it, and it's on the bus, and I'm just like, I haven't hooked it up. I might need to. It's the same exact one Charlie has. I just hadn't hooked it up.
Which one?
It's the Wampler.
Yeah. Okay.
Hold on a minute. I'm trying to.
It's right here.
Yeah, it's on the bus. I mean, that shows you how much I know about it, because I haven't. I got a few Wampler pedals, but this. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out what it is besides mine. I'm trying to get mine out of my head. I have the Black 65. It's the goodness gracious, it's the analog pedal. The analog.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you'll think of it. I want to know what
I got it. It's the tape. It's the tape echo.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
And it is killer, man. It's really killer. It sounds phenomenal.
Nice.
That's cool.
Charlie uses it, and
Yeah, I was just looking the other day, paging through the magazine of our favorite magazine, and
right.
There's a new T-Rex pedal out. It's actually a pedal, but it's a tape echo. There's actually a cassette, a little bit bigger than maybe
You
a little
gotta
bigger
be kidding
than
me.
a cassette-sized tape, like 4 heads, all this, and it's a pedal.
A pedal?
Wow.
It's a pedal. It's crazy.
It's like an Echoplex.
It's like it's Echoplex or like a WEM copycat kind of thing, which had all
Holy
the multiple
crap.
heads on it, and it's a freaking floor pedal.
That is nuts.
It's got to be $1,000. I don't know,
Yeah.
but it's crazy. Like, how do you put all that mechanics?
Yeah.
And
how
a floor
many,
pedal.
and unless you're playing out like Paul, where you're on a stage that's 3.5 foot high, don't take it out, because that guy comes up and goes, "Dude, can you play Skinner?" and drops the beer into the tape.
Oh
device.
yeah. Oh, for sure.
Oh man, we've had that happen.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, that's when you get used to carrying clear trash bags, and you know, once you get everything set up, you cover your entire pedal board with a clear trash bag. Because you know it's going to happen.
I watched the guy one time walk up to Charlie and ask him to play a song, and he had a beer in his hand, and Charlie was like, "What?" And this guy had decided to do, toast one to his homies and dump his beer out on Charlie's pedals. It was
Holy crap!
Oh my God,
that puts a quick end.
Totally did one for the homies. On Charlie was saying like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, they cost money, people.
Yeah. And like you put a big dent in the gig now.
Yeah, exactly.
Really.
Well, I was going to use the Leslie effect, but it's soaked with beer.
And I was just going there with Paul. Paul, what Leslie effect do you use, man? Because I'm looking for like the best of the best. What is it?
It is a Pigtronics.
Ah.
It's the.
Well, they probably they have to only make one.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Who would make more than one Leslie effect in a line?
I have the worst memory. I look at this stuff every day. It's the Rototron.
Ah, nice. You dig it?
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it. I think
cool.
Charlie has something different than I do. I can't remember what he uses, but this thing, I love it.
I forgot to ask him about his pedal. I totally forgot to ask him about his pedals.
Yeah, I know. We forgot.
I'll have to.
We'll have to call him back.
I'll have to call him back. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's got this new pedal. I cannot remember the name of it, but it sounds really good. He goes, "Check this thing I just got." I was like, "Dude, it is nice."
Wow.
When he kicks it in, I think it may even be a prototype, man. To be honest with you, I'm trying to think about the name. I know it's gold.
Awesome.
Well,
that helps.
I know, like now with most pedal manufacturers, everybody's like, "This is a boost that does nothing to your signal, but just boosts the volume." And I'm like, I've heard that 8,000 times now.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, if you can't find one that doesn't color your signal, you're looking.
This one just doesn't color my signal differently.
But I've run into that. Whenever I hear that same statement,
Yeah.
I'm like, it messes with your tone. Don't act like it doesn't. But
It's like,
I do. I got quite a few Wampler pedals, man. I just do.
Cool.
And I like them. And I have a decibel pedal. It's called a DB.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I use that a lot. And then I use the. I have the Paisley, Brad Paisley.
Oh yeah.
I use that one, and the Ego compressor.
Yep.
I use that one too, just for leads and little parts that I do. And
there's a new compressor again that I just saw in print, and I'm going to have to check it out somehow.
Yeah.
It's Wren and Cuff is the name of the manufacturer, and it's a compressor done with germanium transistors.
Oh, well, look at that.
Yeah.
Huh. What was the tape one? Do you remember? You just
a T-Rex, I believe.
Yeah, T-Rex.
Oh yeah, I'm totally looking that up.
Yeah, it's wicked, man.
I probably have no use for it, but now I want to see it, and now I think I want just to have it.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
That's too cool.
Well, you have to text me or something and let me know what you think of it.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
We'll hear it on the next album.
YouTube the hell out of that tonight.
There you go. All right, so you've finally got into BlackBerry, and
Right.
I'm just going back to gear a little bit. God, we did more on pedals today than we've done in a long time. But
that's cool,
though. A Marshall cabinet, 5150 head, and when did that start changing for you? And I don't think you were a guy that ran the 5150 like really overdriven, did you?
Nah.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
Wasn't my cup of tea either. I may have because, like I said, I didn't use a lot of pedals, and that thing I had two kind of channels, and I only used one channel for leads, and the other part I just used for, to get me through.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you're playing, Robert Palmer tunes and stuff like that, you don't really need a lot of metal. And I've seen people do it, and it just sounds like shit.
Yeah, it's like, dude, just because your amp can, that really doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, man, it's the process, man. Thinking not to go off the subject here, but when I started playing in a teen club, there was a guitar player there that had do you remember was it the Roland
Jazz Chorus JC120?
I think it had all these different sounds in it. It was a rack mount.
Oh no, that's different.
Roland 120.
No. It would be like what did they have back then?
And it sounded horrible.
Oh yeah.
But you know what? I used it anyway. Just because I was like, look at all these sounds in it. My brother's like, that sounds like shit. I got that on.
What do you know? You're a drummer.
I know, right? No, but anyway, I just thought that'd be funny to tell you. Cause it was funny.
Oh yeah,
it was real funny to me.
Everybody was making multi-effects units back then. I'm trying to think of what theirs was.
Digitech had the DSP 21. That was a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Does GP8 sound familiar?
GP8, yes.
Roland GP8, yes.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah, good on you. Good. That's a way back.
That is.
Wow.
Dude, I got to find one of those to get now. I'm just kidding.
Rocktron was heavy on all their stuff. They had the legacy stuff and all that. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. Didn't they invent like the first thing you could slow tape? Once again, cassettes down in.
Rocktron.
That you could learn. No. I'm sorry. That wasn't.
That was. You're thinking of.
Oh, I know what that was.
You're thinking of. Well, Ibanez made one that you could play, and you could cut it in half, and then you could tune it to your guitar. Right. And you had a cassette player. Yeah, it wasn't a CD. And then they started doing those phrase trainers that actually used RAM.
Right.
But when you slow it down, it sounds just horrible because unlike an analog tape, they were trying to bring it back up to pitch.
Right.
But you got the warble. You got the, and it was like, I don't hear anything. These are generated tones. I don't even know what's going on.
These sounds don't come from a guitar.
No, not at all. So when did you when did you become a Gibson player and in that?
Well, here's the thing for me. When I was back in the day, I had a Strat. Honestly, I couldn't afford it. That's the only reason I couldn't get a Les Paul.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't get. I was playing. I had a Telly way back in the day, and then I had a couple Strats, and I always wanted a Les Paul, man. But I just, for some reason, I couldn't get one because I was just so freaking broke. And then I sold my 5150 head, and I had, believe it or not, I was working a job where I had a 401k, and what was left, I only had like $500 in it. I pulled it out and went and bought a 76 Gold Top Deluxe.
Wow.
With the mini humbuckers in it?
Yeah.
And I went up there with Britt, and up to Guitar Center here in Atlanta. I got it, and I played it, and I was like, I love this thing, And so I bought it and took it on the road for a week, and the neck immediately twisted. It was weird.
Wow.
It twisted so bad that I could feel my hands moving.
Oh my God.
So I took it back, And no, I called Gibson and they said we could fix it, but it'll just turn back. And I was like, all right. Well, I went back up there, and the guitar that I have now, my '79 Les Paul, I got that. I said, I don't want this guitar. This thing's, y'all sold it to me and blah, blah, blah. And they were like, all right, well, we'll trade you out this one. I said, killer. And I've had that Les Paul ever since. And then after that, my Strat got stolen. And then I wound up with that red. I don't know if you ever saw my red Firebird.
Yeah.
Mm. It has the Maltese cross, the firefighter's Maltese cross on it. You know, I do that for, my dad and the firefighters all over.
Oh, so that's a custom shop.
Well, no, I did it myself. A friend of mine had the Maltese cross on it, built or made. It says Pensacola, Florida, Blackberry Smoke, Pensacola Fire Department.
Oh, okay.
Nice. That's very Brian cool. Kendall, a buddy of mine, did that for me. He's a firefighter. But then I got another Les Paul from Gibson. They gave me a standard, and the way they're building standards now, I kind of changed all the components out of it and put a 59 reissue in it and a Pearly Gates in it, and changed the pots out in it. Yeah. Because originally that thing, the coil taps, I'm not into that.
Yeah, it's one of the things that Gibson has done, and probably depending upon when you got it, they don't even have. It's not even like hand wired anymore. It's a circuit board.
That's exactly right. I took it to a buddy of mine who works on my guitars, and he, I said, just replace all the stuff, and he said, okay. And he called me, goes, dude, because I didn't even look in it. He called me, goes, dude, this is. I kind of got to do some work on this guitar to get the pots in, because this thing's a motherboard. Yeah. It's like, and I literally was like, are you kidding me? Wow. I went up there and got it. I still have it in my garage, and I look at it from time to time and I shake my head. I can't believe that.
Yeah, they've done, well, it's hard to get a Gibson now without an automatic tuner on the back of the head.
I was talking to somebody the other day, and the 2016s no longer have them. 1 year, I guess people complained so much about them.
Oh, yeah, it's good.
They're not coming on the 2016s.
It's such a modification to the head.
It's just, come on, let's say what it is. It makes players lazy. That's, to me, it's like, tune your own guitar.
Well, we've had that conversation several times. We've gotten a couple pieces of hate email because of it. But I'm like, look,
they can hate me for it. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, that's part of learning how to play an instrument, is to tune a goddamn thing.
Right.
Dude, my son is 12. My son Spencer, and you can see this all on my Facebook page. He's learned to play guitar. He loves it. And he goes, the other day, his birthday was the other day, and this child is so into it. He literally wanted me to buy him a $4,000 Les Paul. I was like, kiss my ass. I don't even have $4,000. I don't roll like that. But he goes, Dad, the new Les Pauls have the I think it's the E-Tune. Is that what they call it? Yeah. E-Tune. Yep. Anyway, what we're talking about, I was like, absolutely not, son.
Yeah.
You learn how to tune your own guitar. That's ridiculous. For me, anyway.
That tells you that Gibson is not, it's run by their stockholders. Right. And they've got a great custom shop, and they really, they want to, cater to their artists and stuff like that. But there's another entity that drives a lot of the decision making that ends up in the public's hands, and then a year later they're like, we got to get this out of here, this didn't trend well. And it's like, no shit, dummy, we were the ones telling you that we didn't want it, but yet the suits said no, we got to put them on there.
That is a Gibson. Even after all that, there's nothing bad to say. I love Gibson. I love everything they do. It's awesome. But I think that product, that one tiny thing that they did, I don't think actually, like you were saying, I don't think the guitar players or whoever, you write the suits or somebody in there, thought it'd be a good idea. Be like, hey, we could sell these guitars more to beginners because they don't know how to tune guitar. They have to tune themselves. I don't think that any guitar player would appreciate the fact, even live, would go, man, I'm so busy doing things. I need an E-Tune to tune my guitar for me while I'm taking a sip of my beer.
Exactly.
Right. And Paul, I don't know that they had the beginners in mind, because in 1 year they put the tuners on and increased the price $1,000.
Yeah, no beginner was buying the standard.
No beginners buying a $3,500 Les Paul.
Exactly.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I didn't. Yeah, it's crazy.
I always say this.
I love Gibson.
Yeah. I have multiple Les Pauls.
I always say this though, when you want to talk about what is driving the money over there, all you have to do is look at the Firebird X. The Firebird X was possibly the biggest colossal piece of crap that they ever put out, and it cost $6,000. And I said, and I still say it, I wish somebody could show me the numbers of how many units they actually moved to that thing, because it was the biggest thing on their website.
Wow.
It didn't even last a year.
Yeah.
And I've never seen one in person.
Had like lights on it and stuff?
Yeah. That was the one that didn't look like a Firebird. It had 3 pickups, and it was just crazy. It had built-in effects and built-in amplifiers.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was bizarre. It was the most bizarre thing, and it sounded horrible.
Wow.
Man, I remember when I started playing, you guys, I know you remember this. The Gibson Explorer, remember when it came out? And it had already been out, but I think Sears sold one that looked like a Gibson Explorer, but it had not like effects buttons on it, like distortion and chorus and stuff. You remember those?
No,
I personally don't remember those. No.
Dude, I saw one and I was like, oh, can you just imagine? I was so little.
Maybe
I had that.
Maybe you were in the test market.
Right.
Well, there was.
Yeah, they sold those at Sears.
There was a company, and I would say it was probably late 70s, early 80s, called Electra.
Oh yeah.
And Electra had a thing where they would sell these packs, and you would put it in the back of the guitar, and it would be a distortion pedal, or it would be a phaser, and there was like a toggle switch that you would turn this thing on.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, they went out of business.
I have an Electra. I never showed you my Electra.
Oh my God, you have an Electra?
Yeah, I do.
Well, there you go.
Yep. Hey, who has an Area Pro? Anybody got an Area Pro?
I knew a guy that had an Area Pro.
No, I don't. No.
Totally did too. When like I said, this was before, when I put it out of my mind that when I was a kid, I was just no way I was ever going to be able to get a Les Paul. Mom wouldn't let me get it. So I was looking around for other guitars, man. So,
well,
I remember the Area Pros.
You did what you could afford. I mean, I didn't get one until way late in life.
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, one of the first guitar that I was playing out with in the high school bands was this green and black sunburst Kimberly guitar. It kind of like almost Strat-like, but not really, right. And 4 like gold foil pickups on it, and with the slide switches, so you could have 1 on or 4 on or
because
whatever.
Because that was always better.
Oh yeah, well 4 is always better, and I can distinctly remember the day before we were going out to do a Saturday high school gig or something. I was able to go out and get a black Univox Les Paul copy.
Wow.
And I went, oh, this is the shit, man. I'm gonna play a Les Paul tonight, And I didn't even play much with it before the gig, and I got to the gig and I plugged it into my amp, and I'm going, this thing has like half the output of my 4 pickup Kimberly guitar. And I was so disappointed that night.
Yeah,
it looked great, but it sounded like shit.
Univox Les Paul, they look cool.
Oh yeah.
They totally did.
We used to call the Univox guitars the Tunivoxes. Because my friend had one that looked like the, what they call Mosrites.
Oh, yeah.
I guess, and never stayed in. Never.
Yeah, that's right. They did make copies of those, too.
Yeah, if you breathed on it too hard, it was out of tune.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought, speaking out of tune, the Strat that I had, I bought, it had a Floyd Rose on a locking system on it.
Oh.
And even I played this even in there's videos of me and Blackberry Smoke playing this. I had a Floyd Rose locking system. It never went out of tune, but I never used the bar even when it was
fashionable.
Even when I bought it, I had the Floyd Rose flush against the wood because that's where the tone is to me. Mm-hmm. Is in that piece of wood. I never used it, and if I think we did what's that damn song from Motley Crue?
Oh, Kickstart My Heart.
Yeah.
I would put
wow, that was good, Mick.
I put my thumb underneath the tremolo system and pull the tremolo system up with the rest of my fingers and go, you know.
Yeah.
I just never used that bar. It just wasn't my bag. You know what I mean? But it stayed in tune is my point. That thing never went out of tune.
I think that's where a lot of high gain amps and just a lot of high gain was created, because no matter how you set those up, you need a ton of gain, because it does just literally, the strings just fall.
Right.
You know, and you got to have gobs of gain on the back end or the note just dies.
I think a lot of guys used to complain about like the Floyd just sucking the tone out of the guitar.
I mean, there's guys now that make these giant brass blocks. They bolt to the bottom of it to bring the tone back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and lucky with that guitar I had, you know how they gutted them out to where you can go,
yeah, you can pull them up. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this guitar didn't have that. So I was lucky enough to where I took this, loosened the back springs up and took a spring off or two. No, I put a couple on and it would just pull it to the bottom.
Yeah, just bottomed it right out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gave that. My son has that guitar now and he's like, Dad, I want to get a bar for it. I'm like, nope.
Well, you know, all of the Van Halen guitars, all of the production Van Halen guitars have always been flat mount. That's what they call them. Flat mount Floyd Roses.
Right. On the body?
So when you let go, it comes right back to the body. So you're actually getting that tone. And he's all about that. He never pulls up. He only goes down.
I wonder what his thoughts were when they started doing that. But he was like, it sucks.
That was probably Steve Vai. I would think Steve Vai was the first one to route out behind the bridge to pull the note sharp.
Right.
And then all the Ibanez's started getting it, and then everybody on the planet joined in.
Wow.
Right on, the Ibanez, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Right on. We used to call those I've been heads.
I've been heads.
I've been had. No, they're still good company.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not busting on people, I'm just jamming. So.
No, and you know, people that play those guitars and still play those guitars, like, those are the guitars for that genre.
Yeah.
You know, they are. They still make a great product
and
for that.
They sound good for that kind of stuff. Paul Gilbert, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Steve Vai and Joe Satriani.
Yeah,
I mean, those things sound. If I was to do that, I wouldn't want any guitar besides those, because they just. I do like their necks because I have small hands.
Yeah, they're very thin.
I do like that, but. You know.
I mean, those guitars are meant for that genre of music. There's no doubt.
Yeah. And we
you're not doing that on a Les Paul. You know.
Nope.
Yeah,
and
totally
we AB'd a thing. I had one. I had an RG that had a very thin neck on it, and I played this thing twice, recorded it with my SG, then did it with the RG, and I brought it to Jeff, and Jeff went, "That's the SG, and that's the RG," and he was dead on, because. I know there's no difference. You know, we always hear there's no difference in sound. Bull crap, because I played through the exact same thing. Everything was exact. Two different guitars, and there was a very distinct tone difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and, coming back, what you guys are saying, those guitars were for that kind of sound.
Yeah,
I mean that is so on the money.
That's why they have a certain audience.
Yeah,
you know, they're consumers that buy them. It's a lot of points. And their music. I
couldn't, Charlie couldn't, Gary Rosity couldn't, could get up there with an Ibanez and make it sound like themselves. It's just because I just don't think so. I mean, I can't believe that in my head that they can. I know a lot of people go, yes, it can, because it's Gary Rosity. I don't know, man. I think he'd be like, why am I playing this Ibanez?
Somebody give me.
I mean, it'd be a trip to see. But
that would be a great experiment.
I was on the Rock Legends cruise, and the Motley Hatchet guys were on there, right. And because of customs and getting their equipment on there, the guitar player, and I forget his name, he had an Ibanez.
Wow.
Which one? Molly Hatchet?
Yeah.
It wasn't Blueback. No.
The original guy, the blonde-haired guy that. Has the closest ties to the original group.
Oh, I know. Oh, shit.
what is
I know
his
who you're
name?
talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, he was rocking an Ibanez. Oh, because he couldn't get his guitar.
He could, yeah. A lot of those guys. I mean, even Pat Travers came on with some oddball Les Paul kind of copy guitar.
Bummer.
Because they didn't want to get hung up in the whole customs thing. You know, when we got out to sea, they didn't want anything happening to the equipment. Because I asked a couple of them.
yeah.
And they're like, man, you know, our stuff's being brought in on a forklift on this thing.
Yeah, well, there's that, and there's also, somebody's going to correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe I heard right that you know, the whole Rosewood thing. There are certain places you cannot travel, not even travel with a guitar with a Rosewood neck.
Well, that would be because we went to Haiti. So I'm wondering if that maybe is one of those countries that you're not allowed to go.
There was some travel
Ain't
restrictions.
That's some of the silliest shit ever. That's just silly.
I know. It's like, dude,
meanwhile, they're building.
The guitar's already built.
Yeah.
I've been playing it for 20 years. You're not going to let me take it somewhere?
Now, here's the funny part about that. If you go down to these places where they're building their houses out of it.
Just,
you know what I mean? They use like Honduras mahogany for pallets.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Right. It's crazy.
That's a throwaway thing.
Yeah, wow.
It's nuts how that's actually an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
What are you going to do? So, yeah, man. Do
you have a, I'm sure you have plenty of guitars. But you got a favorite? Like if I got to play a whole gig with this one guitar, I'm going to play this one guitar.
Yeah, it's my 79 Les Paul.
That's got like a natural top on it, right?
Yeah.
And
that guitar actually was. I had my friend down here in Noonan who works on my guitars, JB. He's a great dude, man, a killer guitar player. He looked it up and he said my guitar was actually built in between. He couldn't pinpoint the exact date.
Oh.
But it was like in between June 20th and August something. And because I was wondering about the top, because I thought it was actually a gold top to begin with. You know, and he looked up because no, they built that guitar just for that. And then I took the pickups out because I changed them, and my pickups were actually made on my birthday in 1978. My birthday's 71 on December 29th.
Wow.
They're sitting in my side right here next to my bed.
Nice.
Yeah, he pinpointed it right on the mile. I was like, crazy, dude. They made the pickups like a year before the guitar was, well, not a year before, a couple months before the guitar was made.
Yeah. Is it a standard or custom?
Oh, it's a standard.
Standard.
Yeah.
Standard, yeah. It's the one with the bigger headstock on it, you know, but the neck is small. I mean, they all, you know, I think this is built in Kalamazoo, I reckon.
So it was built in Michigan before it was moved down to Nashville.
Nashville, yeah.
Yeah. Now,
so that's when
is
the
that
company had a little bit bigger headstock.
Is that a 3-piece maple neck? Is that one of those, or was it back to mahogany?
Yes. I think it's 3. It's 3. Just the back of it is the
yes.
It's rosewood on the fretboard.
Yeah.
But it's the 3-piece. You're right.
They were doing that to prevent the headstock breakage that they were having a hard time with back in those days.
Oh wow,
man! So, I hear that horror story from a lot of people, and I just every time I see a guitar with a headstock broken or fixed, I get chills up my spine. It creeps me out so bad. I'm knocking on wood, and that's my skull. That has never happened to me. I do not want that happening.
Well, you know, having that 3-piece maple neck like that is very strong because it's 3 pieces and it's maple as opposed to that very pliable mahogany that's just begging for it to be shattered off the end.
Yeah. Oh man, I see some people go, look at my. You know, I heard the story about Rosington about his guitar hit. The head broke off in the studio, and I just. I can't even talk about that.
Makes me squeamish.
And you know, and I've always said this: the reason that it happens is because of the truss rod cavity,
right?
For where the adjustment
is.
It's
just routed.
It's just
so
too
much wood out of there.
It's just too much out of there. Yeah.
Oh, they got it. Yeah, they took too much out of the wood. Yeah.
Because the Epiphones, they don't have that issue because they use an Allen wrench type So the channel's much smaller.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, at least you got one of the sturdy ones, so you probably have to worry less about that.
There you go.
Oh, I just, it's,
Yeah.
I just don't even want that to happen.
Yeah, especially since it's like, that's the one guitar he picked.
Yeah, the guitar.
The guitar, right.
Yeah.
So, oh my God.
I just bought a, because I wanted a SG Custom Les Paul, the white one with 3 pickups in it. I wanted one so bad for years. Ugh. I mean, immediately after I got that 79, I was like, all right, my next mission. And it's been almost 13 years. And I couldn't afford, obviously, the original ones. They're like up in the 20s.
Yeah.
And I found one online, 1999 reissue, a 61 reissue. And I bought it, and it's one of the best sounding guitars I have. It is unbelievable the way this thing cuts through.
Really?
Just a slab of mahogany.
Yeah.
And you know what's so funny? Brendan O'Brien, I was talking to him when we were in the studio playing. I was playing some of his SGs, and I told him what I wanted. He said, "Don't get it. The pickup in the middle is going to irritate you because you're going to be picking."
Yeah.
And I thought about it. I was like, shit, well, I didn't think about that. And, of course, the kid in me was like, I don't care. I'm going to get it anyway. I got it and dropped the middle pickup down as low as it can go, and it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you can drop it down as low, you know, if you can get it down to the ring and the ring is not bothering you, that's probably okay, you know.
Yeah. I pick really hard, and I mean, I pick so unnecessarily heavy, it's ridiculous. Charlie goes, quit holding a death grip on that damn thing. Because and I haven't been doing it lately because my thumb's broken, but I'm hoping this thumb will be a blessing in disguise to where I can play lightly. Or, 'cause, I mean, if you look at my frets on my guitars, you'd be like, damn, son.
Just chewing them up.
That's merely, your accent was merely the universe's way of saying, lighten up, son.
There you go.
Totally. I'm so thick-headed, man. I'm like, I don't squeeze my guitar that hard.
There's a handprint in the back of the soft neck.
And next time they're in town, I'll have to bring him my 61 reissue.
Oh, yeah. I'll check that out.
Let him play that thing.
Oh, dude, right. What color is it?
It's black.
Sweet.
It's black and gold.
Yeah, it's got gold hardware.
Oh, damn.
It was a special run, and that thing's weird, man. It's got its own life. So it just holds notes forever. It's pretty good. I got lucky.
Oh yeah, I got to check that out.
Oh yeah, man. I'll let you play.
Now, since you dropped the middle pickup on the custom, was the middle pickup something that you were using or planning on using, and is it usable that low? Okay, I didn't think so.
I didn't use it anyway. It's just the front and back. And I've been playing. I'm 43. I've been playing since I was 15. I recently, speaking of pickups, I recently discovered that I had no idea that my Strats, the back pickups, don't have any tone to them. It's just stone cold go.
Yeah.
Those two tones are for the middle and front pickup.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I had no idea. That's news to me. Yeah. And I found out from we played Conan and Vinny, the guitar player there.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's awesome dude. He took me in the back. All his 3 pickup guitars, they mainly have 4 volume knobs on them. I mean, 4 knobs on them. Mm-hmm. 2 volumes. He switched them out to where each pickup has a volume knob, and they all run off that one tone control.
Oh wow, interesting.
That's pretty cool.
Now, I was like, sold on that idea. That's happening.
Wow.
So I'm doing that to this bird that's sitting in my room right in here. I'm doing that in like ASAP.
Wow, that's interesting.
That's pretty cool.
And some guys go the other way and just do one master.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was telling me about that. I was like, no shit. He's like, yeah, dude.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of work, but
Well, if it works for you,
yeah,
whatever.
Because if you select the pickup, I think he had the bottom. It's the 3-way toggle. So if you put the bottom one, use that volume knob. You put the middle one, use that volume knob. You put the other one. He don't have them all working together, if that makes sense. Any of them working simultaneously with each other. They're separately.
Okay.
They're all independent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which in a million years I never would have thought that.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to do that.
I guess he likes to get different tones for TV or something. You know, maybe they got to cover a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, he's got to go. We listened to him play the whole damn day. I was just like, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys are always like a different level, like Dave Letterman's band was. And then, of course, you know, the Roots.
Jimmy V. That's him.
Jimmy Vivino, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Great guy. Super cool guy.
And he plays keyboards as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is very cool.
He didn't have that set.
I know, it does. It totally makes me sick.
It's like, wow, you smoke on the guitar and you also play keys. Well, there we go.
Conan actually plays. He says he plays, I guess, when they're rehearsing.
Oh, really?
Conan's a guitar player, yeah.
He's left-handed, right?
No, he plays right-handed.
I thought he was left-handed. I don't know why.
He's got a guitar, like when we were back there at rehearsal, you can see his guitar behind his desk. So when the band's jamming, he just sits back there and fiddles and jams.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, back when Jimmy was moving from New York to the West Coast, we did his we were at his going away party, you know, and Leslie played and everything. That's when I saw Jimmy play B3. He played B3 while Leslie was doing theme from an Imaginary Western.
Wow,
which is one of my favorite mountain songs ever. And
crazy.
Yeah, he's got a Buddha. We gave him a Buddha, you know, to play on Conan, and Conan wanted him to play, I think, a Vox or something like that.
Yeah.
So he wound up having to play the Vox. So you know who wound up absconding with the Buddha?
That would be Conan.
Yeah, Conan has it now. So yeah.
So he wound up. He took the Buddha from.
Yeah.
My buddy, speaking of the guy that fixes my guitars, real quick. Something I was going to say. JB, he's in a band called Six Shot Revival down here in Atlanta. He played. I went and saw him play, and he works at a music store, and they had a Buddha in there, and he was playing that while he was playing the gig.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it. I walked up, just like, dude, what the hell are you playing through? He's like, this Buddha, and I was like, wait, let me look at it. And it was like combo, and it was killing.
Oh, well, thank you.
It was slaying. I was like, shit. Sorry.
Nice.
Yeah, I traded.
Actually, I went back after I talked to you. I went back when I got home. I can't remember where we were at when we, what gig we were.
When you and I spoke to set this up?
Yeah.
You were at Ramshead in Baltimore.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
We came home, and I went up there, and I was like, dude. When I told him I met you, he was like, holy shit.
Yeah, Jeff can make some amplifiers. There's no doubt there, man.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Right on.
Cool.
I switched a few out this year, so.
What are you playing now?
Yes.
I'm one of those dudes that I just always like playing different things. You know,
good.
I was running after I was running Marshall for a long time, which I'm about to go. I'm probably going to start bringing that thing back out, my 800.
Okay.
JC 800, because I love it. It sounds so good. And then I went to Orange because they made those Rockefeller 50 combo heads.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, cabinets and heads, because it was so tough. Charlie and I constantly loading our gear on stage. You know, it was just, hey, killing us.
Yeah.
And I love those things. And then I started playing Mahalo.
Okay.
Yep.
And they were great company, great bunch of people. And I used them for about 2 years. And, and then I switched over to Orange again. And I was playing their Custom Shop 50 on the, the Holding All the Roses tour. And that thing is nice.
Yeah. I've heard a couple.
And, it's got the 30 watt, 50 watt switch in the back. It's all hand wired. And then at the moment, I'm playing the Fuchs Train 2.
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No Andy well, and
we interviewed him.
Yeah, we've had him on.
There's an episode.
Yeah, known him for a while. Yeah.
I'm using those. Not sure how to say the Feeton cabinets.
Oh, Buzz Feeton, right?
Feeton,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think they put in the cabinets that I'm using. They put those new warehouse speakers in them.
Okay.
Oh, we talked to him too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's what's in there. I think that's what she told me. The rep, when I was using them, she says, you got to try these things. I was like, okay. It's like the speaking cabinets. One of the speakers is closer.
and one's
one's front mounted, one's rear mounted.
Yeah, but it's at an angle. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because I got two cabinets. One's at the bottom right. If you're looking at it, bottom right, one's at the top left.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
they're offset.
Yeah,
offset. Yeah, but it sounds great, and I love that head. You know.
Cool.
And then I was telling our guitar tech Doc, I kind of want to bring my 800 out again because I mean honestly, that 800 with a tube screamer, that's it.
That's all you need.
Yeah, there's only about 1,000 albums that was made with that combination.
Oh my God, really?
When we did Little Piece of Dixie, playing, Dan Huff was recording the record. He's like, "Hey man, use that tube screamer when you're doing solos and whatnot." And I was like, "With this amp?" He's like, "Use it." I said, "All right." So,
wow.
And for all those out there, Dan Huff used to be in a band called Giant.
yes, I know that band well.
And he was a shredder to no end, and then got into like producing country acts, right?
Well, actually, out of that band, this is the useless information that I have. Right?
I love it.
Charlie can tell you a lot about bluegrass and all that stuff. I can tell you a lot about this guy's shit. I was totally useless. But he did Giant. Before that, he was in a band called Whiteheart or something like that. He was a Christian band.
Okay.
And then he told me he got talked into writing some songs, and they wanted to do a record. He said he didn't really want to do a record, like get into a band. Anyway, that Giant record came out, the first one.
Yep.
You know, these are the innocent days. You know, I don't know if you remember that record. I fell in love with him immediately. I was like, this guitar player is the shiznit.
Oh, he could rock, man. Yeah.
You know, for me. And then the second record came out, and then they did a third one. He said it didn't go anywhere. Then he got smart. He went to Nashville, and I guess that's what everybody started doing after him. He started playing on Mariah Carey records, Faith Hill records, Tim McGraw records. I mean, a lot of those solos on those huge hits, they're not flashy, but that's him.
Oh, wow.
You know? And then I think it was, I know what it was. He was doing Shania Twain's record. And then Mutt Lange told him he should start producing records. And he was like, I don't know. And then he did it. And then he wound up doing, God, I don't know what his first one was, but I know he immediately went to tell me that he was doing Faith Hill's record and Megadeth's record at the same time. He said, I'd leave her studio during the day and go to them at night.
Wow.
Could you imagine Mutt Lange coming to you and saying, you got the chops, man. You should be a producer.
You should produce. Yeah. Wow.
I mean, that's like that's a big ticket. You know, that'd be, I don't know how else you'd put it. It'd be like Van Halen Eddie Van Halen coming to you and going,
right.
You know what, man? I think you should fill my spot.
I was just going to say, because, I mean, that's Mutt Lange telling you should produce, and, you wind up producing Shania Twain.
Yeah.
You know? How does that
Well, I think Mutt Lange screwed that up, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, then Rascal Flatts. Then, what's the old boy's name? Keith Urban. I mean,
God.
Several records from those dudes, man. It's just, we were so, once again, on the lucky side, we're very fortunate. We got to do records with some of our favorite guitar players, Dan Huff and Brendan O'Brien. He's one of my favorite and Charlie's favorite guitar players ever.
Wow.
I mean, this guy can play guitar. It's ridiculous. Brendan O'Brien. I mean, a lot of people think of him as a producer, but I do, but his musicianship is redonkulous.
Well, I mean, I think you probably have, as a player, you probably chalk up enough time in the studio to know how to get the really good sounds, and then you just take that knowledge and you help somebody else do that, which is it's so cool, man. It's just, and it takes a while to figure that shit out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just being around, Brendan would come in and go, do you mind if you play through I was like, hey dude, whatever it is you want me to play through, I take the round. I'm all yours. I'll do whatever, because he knows what's up. this guy knows what's up. And the sound that he's created in a lot of his records he's recorded is just, that's for me as a guitar player. I'm just like,
now were you doing the little amp thing too?
Yeah,
during the recording?
I did some of that too. I played through his Fender Supra.
The Charlie
it's
was
old.
Charlie was saying he was playing through a TV front Tweed Pro or something.
Yeah, he did that one.
Yeah,
he did that one, and then I did. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to get all the crap around. I've got so much stuff going on in my head. I got to leave tomorrow morning, so I'm just like, oh no.
Oh wow.
The Supros.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, what are those? I used that one, and I used a Fender. Hell, I can't remember at the moment, man. I'm sorry.
Well, if he's got a Supro in there, I mean, he could have some of the cool esoteric little stuff, but he might have like a Thunderbolt in there too, which is kind of one of the main Supros.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, that's what it was. Sorry.
Yeah, the Thunder. I mean, talk to Jimmy Page. Or so they say.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude. Yeah, I mean, he had so much killer gear. And in my cabinet that I was using running through one of his Fenders was the Germino.
Oh, yeah.
Greg Germino had built a cabinet, and I used it, and he mic'd the front and the back of it in a room. So I was like, hell yeah. So
very cool.
It was so much fun recording that record. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. That's, I mean, to work with somebody like that.
Yeah.
Being around Brendan was like being around Willy Wonka. if that makes any sense. I mean, he just
that not only that pretty much sums it up right there.
Yeah. He had so much killer gear and stuff. We're just like, oh my god,
that is so
like,
cool.
Can I buy this from you? He's like, nope.
But you can use it all you want.
So yeah,
that's great, man.
Good times.
Well, Paul, I mean, this has been so much fun, but I know you gotta, you're starting to wrap your head around getting out of town tomorrow, so we're gonna let you go, and we got to run too. But this has been so much fun, and thank you so much for taking the time, man. And hope you had a good time.
Oh man, I had a great time. I appreciate y'all calling me and let me do this. I appreciate it.
It's great, man. And next time you're in the Northeast somewhere, hopefully we'll have a chance to come out and say hey and
throw a guitar in your hands.
Mick will bring you his Black SG, which is actually a beautiful thing. And
man, I will definitely. You got the strap locks on it, don't you?
No, but I can make it happen.
Which ones? Which ones?
I definitely want to play it though.
Oh yeah, man. I'll let you. Hell yeah.
What strap locks?
Oh, just the regular.
You use showers?
Do what now?
You use showers, right?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. That's not too many people use the Dunlops because that pin can come out, so they get a little scared. Especially on their, very expensive Les Pauls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just pop them and slide the guitar out. Yeah, you know how it is.
Yeah. That's the showers thing.
That's the standard.
Right on.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Very cool.
All
Thanks
right,
for calling, guys.
Thank you so very much. Have a great evening and safe travels, and continue making that.
Yeah, get well soon, man. With that broken stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'm hoping this will all be just a memory soon. I just
that will
just want this to go away,
and you'll continue laughing about it.
Yes, you will.
Yeah. If you would be laughing if you could have seen me flying through the air.
Well, Jesus, I hope not, but maybe after the fact,
Exactly.
So, all right, Paul, thank you so much, man. Safe travels and keep playing, man.
All right, thanks. You guys take care.
All right, you too.
Man.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Well, and there you have the story.
He's a funny dude, man.
He is a funny dude.
I like talking to him.
The guy even laughs when he gets hit by a truck.
Yeah, what is up with that?
Wow. I don't know if we covered that whole story in the beginning of the interview. I don't remember because we covered it just prior to interview, so I don't know.
Well, we got where the guy was going through the intersection.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
he made a right.
He was looking left and making a right.
Yeah, and caught.
That is not the way you drive,
Paul
people.
On a bicycle.
Really, you hit this wonderful guitar player.
Yeah, man.
Seriously,
that could have been bad.
That could have been bad.
That could have been a bad scene right there.
Gotta watch where you're going.
Yeah.
Wow, but at least it
I'm so glad we got to talk
him too much in playing. So
yeah,
that's good.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And I'm so glad we got to talk to both of those guys.
Yeah.
Charlie and Paul, because I just knew they were going to be very cool.
Oh,
and, definitely dudes that have come up through the ranks, paid their dues, and they're still out there kicking at 200 shows a year, man.
God bless.
That is nothing to sneeze at. The only other guy we've ever talked to that had more was Joel Hoekstra. I think he did like 378 shows a year or something ridiculous.
He did more shows than days in a year.
Yeah, he said, because I was doing 2 shows in a day. Right. And it was like, holy crap, that's just nuts. But
yeah.
Anyway.
They obviously love it. And it shows.
And if you haven't seen them, see them. You won't be disappointed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're going to go see them.
Absolutely.
For sure.
There's going to be a black SG in his hands.
That's right. That's right. Maybe I'll have my black SG by then.
And I won't put it on eBay after he plays it.
No, I won't let you do that.
No,
Come on.
Oh, God, that guitar is awesome.
Yeah,
anyway.
You got to keep that
one. It's like my kids.
Right.
I can't sell them.
Okay.
Anyway, bro. So until next time, my friend.
Yeah, there has to be, because you got to go bring the guitar in.
I got to definitely
do that.
That's right. I'm Mick Marcelino.
With the guitar, and I'm Jeff Bober.
You will have.
I will have
Well, you
one.
got more than I do.
I will.
Yeah, and we're always saying.
Onward.
Be sure and follow the show on Twitter @AmpsandAxis. Also, make sure you like the show on Facebook. For news, comments, and everything else, visit the webpage ampsandaxiscast.com. Thanks for listening.